Welcome back, radio fans. Big Al here. It's Saturday, August 8th, 2020. And as we continue our series on the AM and FM radio stations from across the country, our focus today is on New York City, the Big Apple, City that Never Sleeps, Gotham, all them other nicknames you can think of. Anyway, this is the #1 radio market in the country according to Arbitron's ratings. So it took me a while to compile all this information, which I have on 11 pages, by the way. I started off with the AM stations first, then I did the non-commercial band on FM after that, and then the third go around I did the commercial band on FM, and that took, oh my God, forever. So this is what I've come up with from Wikipedia, radiolocator.com, and radiostationworld.com. So let's not waste any time and jump right in, because this is going to be a long one, folks. All right, starting on the AM side of the dial, you have 540 WBWD Islip, Radio Zindagi. This is an Indian talk and music station broadcasting in both English and Hindi. They're owned by Universal Stations, LLC. 570 WMCA New York, AM 570, FM 102.3 The Mission, New York's Christian Talk. This is a Christian talk station with programming from the Salem Radio Network, and they're, of course, owned by Salem Media Group. FM translators at 102.3 W272 DX, New York. 620 is WSNR, Jersey City, New Jersey. This is a broker time station broadcasting in Russian and English, owned by David Zahn Radio Incorporated. 660, broadcasting in high definition, and also being credited for being the first all-sports radio station in the country, is Wfan AM New York. Sports Radio 66 and 101.9 FM The Fan. Your flagship station for New York sports. This is a CBS Sports Radio affiliate. In fact, this is the flagship station of CBS Sports Radio, although WFAN physically does not produce any of the network's programming. WFAN is the flagship station of the New York Yankees, the New York Giants, the Brooklyn Nets, the New Jersey Devils, and Westwood One Sports. That's the national sports events only. So that means the NFL on Westwood One, meaning Thursday night football, Sunday night football, Monday night football. The NFL playoffs, the Pro Bowl, and the Super Bowl are all heard on The Fan. As is the NCAA men's basketball tournament and the Final Four. WFAN AM is owned by Entercom Communications and is simulcast on WFAN FM 101.9, also licensed to New York. This was the previous home of WNBC AM, which held that call sign from 1946 till 1954, and then again from 1960 until the station's sign-off in 1988. Of course, WFAN started off, I think, on 1050 the year prior in 1987, and then moved to 660 after WNBC went off the air. 710 is WOR New York. They broadcast in high definition. 710 WOR, the voice of New York. This is a talk radio station with news updates from NBC News, ABC News, the Associated Press, the Weather Channel, and programming from premier radio networks. Notable programming heard on WOR include Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, Dave Ramsey, and Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. WOR is owned by iHeartMedia and repeats on sister station WAXQ 104.3 HD2, New York. 740 is WNYH Huntington, New York. Inspire AM 740 and 100.7 FM. We are inspiration. This station broadcasts in both English and Korean and features a mix of contemporary Christian music and gospel. WNYH is owned by Win Radio Broadcasting Corporation. 770 broadcasting in high definition is WABC New York. Talk Radio 77 WABC, where New York comes to talk. This is a talk radio station with programming from Westwood One. So you would think Red Eye Radio would air on WABC. This station is owned by Red Apple Media Incorporated and repeats on WLIR FM 107.1 Hampton Bays, New York. So this extends their signal into Eastern Long Island, including the Hamptons. And they also operate translator station W245BA in Manorville, New York on 96.9 FM. 820 broadcasting in high definition is WNYC AM New York, WNYC AM 820. This is a news talk station with news and programming from NPR. They are owned by New York Public Radio. Some programming is simulcast on its FM counterpart, WNYC FM 93.9, but their programming is repeated full-time on WNYC 93.9 HD3, New York. 880 is WCBS New York. WCBS News Radio 880. More than just the headlines. This is an all-news radio station with hourly news updates from both CBS News and locally from WCBS TV Channel 2. WCBS is the radio flagship station of the New York Mets, but will air certain Yankees, Giants, and Nets games if there is a scheduling conflict with sister station WFAN. WCBS AM is owned by Entercom and repeats on WCBS FM 101.1 HD2, New York. 910 WRKL, New City, New York. Polski Radio. This is a Polish formatted radio station from Polnet Communications Limited. 930 is WPAT AM, Paterson, New Jersey. W Radio 930 AM. This is a Chinese brokered programming station with programming from China Radio International. WPAT AM is locally owned by Multicultural Radio Broadcasting, which is based right there in New York City. 970 WNYH, Hackensack, New Jersey. AM 970 The Answer, News, Opinion, Passion. WNYM carries a conservative talk format with news updates from Fox News Radio and programming from the Salem Radio Network. WNYM is owned by Salem Media Group. 1010 broadcasting in high definition is WINS New York, otherwise known as 1010 Wins. This is an all-news radio station with news updates from ABC News, Westwood One News, Bloomberg Radio, and the Associated Press. 1010 Wins is owned by Entercom and is the longest continuously operating all-news radio station in the U.S. since this format debuted on this station on April 19th, 1965. 1050 WEPN AM New York, 1050 ESPN. This is an ESPN radio station and airs most New York Islanders games. WEPN AM is owned by the Walt Disney Company. And ESPN radio programming also airs on WEPN FM 98.7. More on that later. 1100 WHLI, Hempstead, New York. 1100 AM WHLI, playing the hits of a lifetime. This is an oldies formatted station with news updates from Westwood One, owned by Connoisseur Media. WHLI is a daytime only station required by FCC law to sign off at sundown. 1330. Correction, 1130. WBBR, New York. Bloomberg Radio / Bloomberg 1130. They have two slogans. The world is listening, and it's business to your ears. This is a business news station with news and programming from Westwood One News and Bloomberg Radio. WBBR is, of course, owned by Bloomberg LP. 1160 WVNJ, Oakland, New Jersey. This is one of two relevant radio stations in the New York area. Relevant Radio's slogan is, of course, Talk Radio for Catholic Life. So this is a Catholic religious station owned by Immaculate Heart Media Incorporated. 1170 is WWTR, Bridgewater, New Jersey. EBC Radio, wherever you are, we are. This is a South Asian station owned by EBC Music Incorporated. WWTR is a daytime-only station required by FCC law to sign off at sundown. 1190 WLIB New York, your home for gospel, inspiration, and information. WLIB broadcasts an urban contemporary gospel format which is owned by MS Communications. Their programming is repeated on sister station WBLS 107.5 FM HD2 New York. 1230 is WFAS White Plains, Sports Radio 1230 AM. This is the other CBS Sports Radio station in New York. However, WFAN is listed as the network's flagship station. CBS Sports Radio programming airs here on WFAS. This station is owned by Cumulus Media. 1240 is WGBB, Freeport, New York, the station that serves your community. This is a specialty / multicultural programming station in English and Chinese, owned by WGBB AM Incorporated. 1280, broadcasting in high definition, is WADO New York. 1280 WADO, TUDN Radio Nueva York, La Campeona de Nueva York. This is a Spanish sports station and the New York affiliate of Televisa Univision Deportes Network Radio. WADO airs all New York Jets games in Spanish and will also carry certain New York Yankees, New York Knicks, and New York Islanders games in Spanish. WADO is owned by Univision and the Euphoria Audio Network and is repeated on WXNY 96.3 FM HD3 New York. 1310 and 1330 carry the same programming, so I'll mention these two stations at once. 1310 is WRVP Mount Kisco, New York. 1330 is WWRV New York. Both stations are known as Radio Vision Cristiana. They both broadcast a Spanish religious format and are both owned by Radio Vision Cristiana Management. 1360 is WTOC Newton, New Jersey, which is not associated in any way, shape, or form with CBS television affiliate WTOC TV in Savannah, Georgia. WTLC broadcasts a Spanish Christian format, which is owned by Central Biblical of New Jersey Incorporated. And they operate FM translator station W240EE at 95.9 FM, Dover, New Jersey. 1370 is WLID, Patchogue, New York. This is also a Spanish Christian station. They're owned by Cantico Nuevo Ministry Incorporated. 1380 is Wkdm New York, which is a Mandarin Chinese brokered language programming station for multicultural radio broadcasting. 1390 is WRIV, Riverhead, New York. WRIV 1390 AM, your hometown station. They broadcast in adult standards format, news updates from ABC News. They're owned by Crystal Court Communications. 1420 is WLNA Peekskill, New York. Real Country 92.5, 920, 1260, and 1420. This is a classic country station from Pomal Broadcasting, which is simulcast on WBNR Beacon, New York at 1260 AM and WGHQ Kingston, New York on 920 AM, and also operates translator station W223CR 92.5 Kingston, which relays WGHQ. 1430 is Wnjp Newark. This is the main New York City affiliate of Relevant Radio, talk radio for Catholic life. This is a Catholic talk station with programming from Relevant Radio. They are owned by Starboard Media Foundation Incorporated. 1440 is WLIM Medford, New York, 93.3 The Breeze. They carry a soft adult contemporary format from Cantico Nuevo Ministry Incorporated. Their FM translators are W227CL 93.3 FM Port Jefferson, New York, and W295CK 106.9 FM Medford, New York. 1450 is WCTC, New Brunswick, New Jersey. 1450 Talk Radio, the voice of Central Jersey. This is a talk radio station from Beasley Broadcast Group. 1460 WVOX, New Rochelle, New York. The voice of Westchester. This is a talk and variety station with programming supplied by the Music of Your Life, which I think is the Adult Standards Network from Westwood One. WVOX is owned by Hudson Westchester Radio Incorporated. It repeats on WVIP 93.5 FM HD2 in New Rochelle, and they also operate translator station W276BV 103.1 FM Greenwich, Connecticut. 1480 is Wzrc New York, which is a Cantonese news, talk, and music station from Multicultural Radio Broadcasting. This was the previous New York affiliate of the now defunct heavy metal network Wzrc, which aired on this station from 1990 to 1993. 1500 is WGHT Pompton Lakes, New Jersey. North Jersey 1500 WGHT. Now, Wikipedia lists them as a full-service format. I clearly don't understand what full service is. I'll have to read up on it. Anyway, they have programming from both ABC Radio and the Motor Racing Network. WGHT is owned for now by the Borough of Pompton Lakes, but there is a sale pending to FST Broadcasting Corporation, which means this station will soon have new owners. Their programming is simulcast on WTBQ 1110 AM Warwick, New York, which is owned by FST Broadcasting, and they operate 2 translator stations. All right, 98.3 W252 ED Pompton Lakes relays WGHT's programming, and 93.5 W228CG Warwick, New York relays WTBQ's programming. Both WGHT and WTBQ are daytime only stations, so they are required to go off the air at sundown. As is our next station, 1520 WTHE, Mineola, New York. Radio Cantico Nuevo. This is a Spanish Christian station from Cantico Nuevo Ministry Incorporated. And as I said, this is also a daytime only station required by the FCC to go off the air at sundown. Now, the previous format on this station was Urban Gospel, but they went silent in 2018 after the station was evicted from their transmitter site. It's a pretty long story. I don't know all the details of that, but apparently they got kicked out of their transmitter site and they were forced to go off the air. 1560, broadcasting in high definition, is Wfmu New York. Family Radio, the sound of the new life. This is a Christian/religious station programming from Family Radio, owned by Oakland, California-based Family Stations Incorporated. Programming is simulcast on WFME FM 106.3, Mount Kisco. That's up in the Hudson Valley, which is north of the city. 1570 is WFTU, Riverhead, New York. WFTU 1570 AM, the sound of 5 Towns College. This is a college radio station which is owned by 5 Towns College. 1600 is WWRL New York, Radio Wrc New York. This is an Indian music station from Wnj Broadcasting LLC. 1660 is WWRU, Jersey City, New Jersey. They're known as AM 1660K Radio, which broadcasts a Korean format from Multicultural Radio Broadcasting. And then rounding out the AM band is 1700 WRCR, Ramapo, New York. AM 1700 Radio Rockland. Radio Unscripted. This is a news talk and adult contemporary hybrid owned by Alexander Broadcasting Incorporated. And a couple of notes as we wind down the AM dial here in New York. 1560 was, of course, the former home of classical music station WQXR. They, of course, moved to the FM side of the band, and we'll tell you about that station in a little bit. Also, 1560 was the former New York affiliate of Radio Disney from 1998 to 2015. All right, that's the AM dial. Now to the FM dial, starting with the non-commercial band. All right, 88.1 channel 201 has 3 stations broadcasting at different parts of the area. The first station is WARY, Valhalla, New York. The new sound of power and the voice of Westchester Community College. So this is a variety station which is owned by Westchester Community College. Also on 88.1 is WCWP, Brookville, New York, which is a news, sports, classic rock, and jazz hybrid, which is owned by the Long Island University Public Radio Network. And then there's WDNG, Hopatcong, New Jersey. HOPATCONG, Hopatcong. Verdes Gay Lebrion. This is a Spanish Christian station which is owned by Wnsh Media Incorporated. 88.3 channel 202 has a pair of stations. The one that broadcasts to the city does so in high definition, and that is WBGO Newark, New Jersey. WBGO Jazz 88, the jazz source. FM and HD1 is jazz music with no additional subchannels. They're owned by Newark Public Radio. The other station on 88.3 broadcasts in traditional analog. That's WLIW-FM Southampton. WLIW-FM 88.3, Long Island's only NPR station. They broadcast a public radio format with programming from both NPR, American Public Media, and Public Radio International. WLIW-FM is owned by WNET.org, which is also the same company that owns the two PBS member stations in the New York City area, or at least the two main ones. WNET TV Channel 13 and their Long Island simulcast WLIW TV Channel 21. 88.5 Channel 203 also has a pair of stations. One broadcasts to the upper, or rather the mid Hudson Valley, and that's WANR Brewster, New York. This is a part of WAMC Northeast Public Radio, which is a public radio station owned by WAMC Incorporated. Now, WAMC is, of course, a public radio station in Albany, New York. And this is one of the 12 networks that's a part, or one of the 12 stations, rather, that's a part of Northeast Public Radio. The other station on 88.5 is Wnjp, Sussex, New Jersey. This is part of New Jersey Public Radio. They broadcast news, talk, and jazz music with programming from NPR, Public Radio International, and American Public Media. They are owned by New York Public Radio, which are the same people that own WNYC AM and FM and WQXR. 88.7 Channel 204 has 5, count them, 5 stations on this one frequency, but again, not all of them broadcast in the city. I think the one that does broadcast in the city is WPSC, Wayne, New Jersey. Brave New Radio, the nation's #1 college radio station, also known as Jersey's #1 for new indie. So this is an indie pop and alternative hip hop station, which is owned by William Patterson University. Also on 88.7 is WEER Montauk, New York, which is a community station playing soft adult contemporary music, owned by Eastern Towns Corporation. I can't even read my own handwriting. That's pitiful. All right. Also on 88.7 is WRHU Hempstead, New York. Radio Hofstra University. This is a free-form radio station. And believe it or not, this is also the radio flagship station of the New York Islanders, although most of their games are heard on WEPN, AM, and FM, which are commercial stations, whereas this one is non-commercial. So it's pretty rare that a major professional sports team has its flagship rights to a college-run radio station, which WRHU is. They are owned by Hofstra University. There's also WNYK New York. This is a variety station from Nyack College, known simply as Nyack College Radio. And then the last station on 88.7 is WRSU FM New Brunswick. This is a non-commercial campus radio station from Rutgers University, known as Rutgers Radio. All right, 88.9, channel 205 has 3 stations. The first is WSIA, Staten Island, New York. WSIA 88.9 FM, Staten Island's only alternative. This station is owned by the College of Staten Island and airs a modern active rock format. 88.9 WFRS, Smithtown. Family Radio, the sound of the new life. This is a Christian/religious station owned by Family Stations Incorporated. Programming is also heard on both WFME AM New York and WFME FM Mount Kisco. And the final station on 88.9 is WWES Mount Kisco, speaking of which. This is also a part of WAMC Northwest Public Radio, which is a public radio station owned, of course, by WAMC Incorporated in Albany. All right, 89.1, channel 206, has 3 stations. The first broadcast in high definition. No, they have 2 stations. In fact, 89.1 is a timeshare station. All right. So the first station on 89.1 broadcasts in high definition, and that's WFDU Teaneck, New Jersey. 89.1 WFDU, the voice of Fairleigh Dickinson University. On FM and on HD1 is public radio, eclectic music, and oldies. Their HD2 subchannel is Jazz and What's More, which plays jazz music. And then their HD3 subchannel is Masterworks, which is classical music. WFDU is, of course, owned by Fairleigh Dickinson University. And the station in which they share time with on this frequency is WNYU New York. WNYU 89.1 FM, which plays music and also has some talk programming. And they're owned by New York University. Now, as I said, 89.1 is a timeshare frequency in New York City. WFDU broadcasting 15 hours a day, 7 days a week, from 1 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And then WNYU FM broadcasts 9 hours a week on 89.1 from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern Time. However, you can listen to both stations around the clock on their respective websites and on other streaming devices. Because I think I read on WFDU's page on Wikipedia that their programming is available on the iHeartRadio app. And I also read on WNYU's page that their programming is available on iTunes. So even when one or the other is off the air, you can still listen to both of them anytime, online or on your favorite streaming devices. 89.3 channel 207 is WGSS. Oh my God, I cannot pronounce this. Patchogue, New York. I cannot pronounce that, but anyway, I tried. This station is known as 89.3 WGSS. God Still Listens. This is a Christian radio format from the Calvary Chapel of Hope. 89.5 channel 208 is WSOU South Orange, New Jersey. 89.5 WSOU Seton Hall's Pirate Radio, also known as the Loudest Rock. They broadcast an active rock format which is owned by Seton Hall University. Alright. 89.9 channel 210 has 2 stations and they both broadcast in high definition. The first station is WKCR FM New York. WKCR 89.9 FM NY. The original FM 89.9. They broadcast a college radio format on FM and on HD1, and on HD2 is classical music, which is a simulcast of WWFM, which is the classical music station out of Trenton, New Jersey. We talked about this station during my Philadelphia video. WKCR FM is owned by Columbia University. The other station on 89.9 is WSUF New York, New York, and they too broadcast in high definition. They're known as WSUH, your station for NPR news and classical music. So, on the main FM analog signal and on HD1 is news, talk, and classical music, with programming from NPR, Public Radio International, and American Public Media. And then on HD2 is classical music. And this station is owned by Sacred Heart University. What's their programming? So, or rather, this is a satellite station of WSHU, which I did not write down for some reason. But I did get their 3 FM translator stations, which are W227AJ 93.3 Northford, Kentucky, or Northford, Connecticut, rather. Also W289AD 105.7 Selden, New York, and W298BN 107.5 Newark, New York. 90.1 channel 211 has a pair of stations. The first is WPUT North Salem, New York. This is a jazz and community radio station from Vineyard Public Radio Incorporated. The other is WUSB Stony Brook, New York. Radio Free Long Island. This is a freeform radio station which is owned by the State University of New York Board of Trustees. That's SUNY, State University of New York. 90.3, Channel 212, has 3 stations. The first station is WRPR, Mahwah, New Jersey. 90.3 FM, Ramapo Radio. This is a free-form college radio station from Ramapo College of New Jersey. The second station broadcasts in high definition, and that's WHPC, Garden City, New York. 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College. On FM and HD1 is a free-form format with no additional subchannels. They are owned, as I said, by Nassau Community College. And then the final station is WVPH Piscataway, New Jersey, also known as the Core, the Pulse of Piscataway. They are a variety station which is owned by the Piscataway Board of Education. Alright, 90.7 Channel 214 has a pair of stations. The first is in high definition, and that's WFUV New York. 90.7 WFUV New York's Music Discovery. On FM and HD1 is Adult Album Alternative and Adult Contemporary, so it's a mix of both, with programming from NPR. And then HD2 is FUV All Music, which is an adult album alternative format. WFUV is owned by Fordham University, and their main signal is repeated on WFUV 90.7 HD3 New York. The other station on 90.7 is Wegb Wplg New York. If I butchered that city, I'm sorry again. They're known as Faith FM. This is a Christian radio station owned by the Community Bible Church. And they operate translator station W227AN on 93.3 FM, Southampton. Alright, we're just about out of the non-commercial band. Just a few more stations left. 91.1 is Wfmu, East Orange, New Jersey. This is a free-form station from Oracle Communications. Programming is repeated on WMFU 90.1 FM, Mount Hope, New York, and on translator station W220EJ 91.9 FM, Weehawken, New York. 91.5 channel 218, broadcasting in high definition, is WNYE New York. They're known as Radio New York. Wikipedia lists WNYE as a variety/educational station on its FM analog signal and on HD1, with programming from both National Public Radio and Public Radio International. And there are no additional subchannels. This station is owned by NYC Media and licensed by the New York City Department of Information Technology and Telecommunications. And then the final station on the non-commercial band on FM is 91.7 channel 219, which is WEGQ Quahog, New York. Faith FM. This is a Christian radio station from Community Bible Church. All right, so we finally gotten through the non-commercial band on FM. Now the final fight in this boss battle, the commercial band. Starting off with 92.1, channel 221, WLNG, Sag Harbor, New York. They're known as WLNG 92.1 FM, also known by the name Radio Eastern Long Island. Their slogan is the East End's best music. This is a mix of oldies and adult hits. And they have news updates from ABC News Radio, ABC News Now, Fox News Radio, and NBC News Radio. This station is owned by Bark Out Loud Dogs Media. 92.3 channel 222, broadcasting in high definition, is WNYL New York. Alt 92.3, New York's new alternative. On FM and HD1 is alternative rock. HD2 is a channel called New Alternative. And then HD3 is channel Q, which is the LGBTQ talk, dance, and EDM station, heard also on the radio.com app. WNYL is owned by Entercom. This, of course, was the former flagship station of the Howard Stern Show from 1985 up until December of 2015, when Stern decided to leave terrestrial radio and go to Sirius XM. This was also the former flagship station of the Opie and Anthony Show, which aired from April 2006 to March 2009 on this very station. 92.7 channel 224, broadcasting in high definition, is WQBU FM, Garden City, New York. Cubana 92.7, Solamente Éxitos. On FM and HD1 is Spanish Adult Contemporary with no additional subchannels. 92.8 channel 225, broadcasting in high definition, is WFMU, East Orange, New York. This station is owned by Oracle Communications. Programming is repeated on WMFU 90.1 FM, Mount Hope, New York, and on translator station W220EJ 91.9 FM, Weehawken, New York. 93.3 channel 219, is WFMU, East Orange, New York. 91.5 channel 221, WLNG, Sag Harbor, New York. They're known as Radio Eastern Long Island. Their slogan is the East End's best music. This is a mix of oldies and adult hits. And they have news updates from ABC News Radio, ABC News Now, Fox News Radio, and NBC News Radio. This station is owned by Univision Communications and the Euphoria Audio Network. Programming is repeated on WXNY 96.3 FM HD2 New York and booster stations WQBU FM1 New York and WQBU FM2 Brooklyn, both on 92.7. 92.9 Channel 225 and 96.9 Channel 245 both have the same programming. 92.9 is WEHM Bannerville, New York. 96.9 is WEHN East Hampton, New York. These two stations are known as 92.9 FM and 96.9 FM EHM. Progressive Radio for Long Island. They broadcast an adult album alternative format, which is owned by LRS Radio LLC. 93.1 Channel 226, broadcasting in high definition, is WPAT-FM, Paterson, New Jersey. 93.1 Amor, Achada Ye Mas. FM and HD1 is Spanish Tropical. And HD2 is a Spanish contemporary Christian station, which is simulcast on WGNK in Pensacola, Florida. WPAT-FM is owned and operated by the Spanish Broadcasting System. Grab a mic real quick, and then we'll continue. Okay, I'm back. 93.5 Channel 228, broadcasting in high definition, is WVIP, New Rochelle, New York. Known simply as Caribbean Radio. On FM and HD1 is, of course, Caribbean music. HD2 is the talk radio and variety simulcast of AM 1460 WVOX. And then on HD3 is 80s hits, which is known as Sunny Radio 101.5, which is relayed on translator station W268 AM 101.5 FM, Plainview, New York. WVIP offers programming from the Jones Radio Network and is owned by Hudson Westchester Radio Incorporated. WVIP also operates 3 additional translator stations, all within the city. They operate W252CS 98.3 Brooklyn, W268BY 101.5 Queens, and W292DV 106.3 New York. 93.9 Channel 230, broadcasting in high definition, is WNYC-FM New York. WNYC 93.9 FM is their brand. On FM and on HD1 is the news talk format with programming from NPR. On HD2 is the classical simulcast of sister station WQXR-FM, which we'll talk about a little later. And then on HD3 is the public radio simulcast of WNYC-AM. This is the counterpart station on 820. WNYC-FM is owned by New York Public Radio. 94.3 Channel 232 is WWSK Smithtown, New York. 94.3 The Shark, everything that rocks. This is a mainstream rock station owned by Connoisseur Media and repeats on WALK-FM 97.5 HD2 Patchogue, New York. 94.7 Channel 234, broadcasting in high definition, is WNSH, Newark, New Jersey. This station is known as New York's Country 94.7. On FM and HD1 is country music with no additional subchannels. This station is currently owned by Entercom Communications, but under Cumulus ownership, 94.7 was the flagship station of the Nash FM brand of country music stations from when the brand launched in 2013 until Entercom purchased WNSH last year. 94.9 channel 235 is WJJF Montauk, New York. 94.9 News Now. News Now and Stimulating Talk. This is a news talk station with news updates from Fox News Radio. They're owned by Full Power Radio and licensed by Red Wolf Broadcasting Corporation. 95.5 channel 238 broadcasting in high definition. This is one of the city's historic radio stations. And I will be telling you all about the history of this station in just a sec. Well, first off, 95.5 is Wplj New York. This is the New York affiliate of the K-Love radio network, broadcasting a contemporary Christian format on FM and on HD1. On HD2 is K-Love Classics, which is classic contemporary Christian music from the past quarter century. Talking 80s, 90s, early 2000s. HD3 is another one of K-Love's sister networks, Air One, which is contemporary worship music. And then HD4 is a Christian radio station, which is simulcast from WRDR in Freehold Township, New Jersey, which is currently owned by Bridgelight LLC. Alright, so Wplg is currently owned by the Educational Media Foundation, or EMF. This station signed on the air on May 4th, 1948 as WJZ-FM and simulcast programming from WABC-AM. They then held the WABC-FM call sign from 1953 to 1971. The WPLJ call sign was used on the 95.5 frequency from 1971 to 1983 during the station's time as an album rocker. They then switched to a top 40 station in 1983. Their call sign and branding was switched in 1987 to WWPR Power 95. But by the following December in 88, the station went back to the original WPLG call sign and they were branded, of course, as 95.5 WPLJ. The station switched to a hot adult contemporary format in 1992, and that was the final format that they had before they became a Christian contemporary station. Because WPLJ's former owner, Cumulus Media, sold WPLJ to EMF, along with, I think, 6 other stations. Because I know they sold WRQX in Washington, and they sold an old talk station in Atlanta, among them, to EMF, and they all became K-Love radio stations. So, WPLJ has been airing K-Love programming since May 31st, 2019. So that's the history of the 95.5 frequency in New York. 96.1 channel 241 is WJVC Center Marches, New York. This station is known as My Country 96.1. This is a country music station from JVC Media Incorporated. 96.3 channel 242 broadcasting in high definition is WXNY FM New York. La X 96.3 El Ritmo de New York, translated in the English as the Rhythm of New York. FM and HD1 is Spanish Rhythmic AC. And then HD2 is the Spanish Adult Contemporary simulcast of sister station WQBU Cubana 92.7. HD3 is the Spanish sports simulcast of AM 1280 WADO. And then on HD4 is Radio Freedom FM, which broadcasts Russian music. WXNY FM is owned by Univision Communications and the Euphoria Audio Network. 96.7 Channel 244, broadcasting in high definition, is WARW, Port Chester, New York. Now this is the New York affiliate of Air One, Worship Now, and The Worship Station. On FM and HD1 is Christian worship music. Then on HD2 is the aforementioned K-Love Classics, which is classic contemporary Christian. And then on HD3 is a Spanish Christian station known as Radio Nueva Vida. WARW is owned by EMF and thus makes it a sister station of WPLJ. 97.1 Channel 246, broadcasting in high definition, is one of my favorite stations in the country, and that's WQHT New York. Hot 97, number one for hip-hop. So on FM and on HD1 is Urban Contemporary, and then on HD2 is Home Desi Radio, which is a South Asian format. WQHT is owned by Media Co. Holding Incorporated and operated by MS Communications. 97.5 Channel 248 is WALK FM Patchogue, New York, and this station does broadcast in high definition. Once again, I forgot to write that down. Anyway, this is Walk 97.5, real variety from the 90s, 2K, and today. On FM and HD1 is Hot Adult Contemporary, and then on HD2 is the mainstream rock simulcast of sister station WWSK 94.3 The Shark. Walk FM is owned by Connoisseur Media. 97.9 Channel 250, broadcasting in high definition, is WSKQ-FM New York. Mega 97.9, or as the Hispanics would say, Mega 97.9, La Mega se pega. On FM and HD1 is Spanish Tropico, with no additional subchannels. This station is owned by the Spanish Broadcasting System, which also owns WPAT FM. 98.3 Channel 252 has a couple of stations. There's WKJY Hempstead, New York, which is known as KJoy 98.3, Long Island's place to relax. And the other station is WMGQ New Brunswick, New Jersey, which is Magic 98.3, today's hits, yesterday's favorites. WKJY is owned by Connoisseur Media. WMGQ is owned by the Beasley Broadcast Group, and both stations carry an adult contemporary format. 98.5 Channel 253 is WBON West Hampton, New York. La Nueva Fiesta, El Sabor de Long Island. This is a Spanish tropical station owned by JVC Media Incorporated. 98.7 Channel 254, broadcasting in high definition, is WEPN FM New York. This station is known as ESPN New York 98.7 FM. On FM and HD1 is sports, and this is of course the main New York affiliate of ESPN Radio, although there's a lot more locally produced sports talk on this station. WEPN is the flagship station of the MSG radio network, so that means you'll hear Knicks basketball and Rangers hockey on ESPN New York 98.7. This station is also the radio flagship home of the New York Jets. WEPN FM is owned by MS Communications and operated by the Walt Disney Company. Of course, the Walt Disney Company owns and operates their AM counterpart on 1050. 99.1 channel 256, broadcasting in high definition, is WAWZ, Zarpath, New Jersey. Star 99.1 is what this station is known as. Their slogan is uplifting. Star 99.1. On FM and HD1 is contemporary Christian and gospel music. HD2 is all gospel. And then HD3 is The Energy, which is alternative contemporary Christian. WAWZ is owned by Pillar of Fire International. 99.5 channel 258 is WBAI New York, known as WBAI, your Peace and Justice community radio station. This is, of course, the New York affiliate of Pacifica Radio, which Wikipedia lists as a progressive nonprofit format. They are owned by the Pacifica Foundation of Berkeley, California. All right, 100.3 channel 262, broadcasting in high definition, is not only one of the more popular stations in New York, but one of the most listened to in the entire country, and that's WHTZ, Newark, New Jersey. Z100, New York's #1 hit music station. FM and HD1 is top 40 CHR with programming from premier radio networks and no additional subchannels. WHTZ is owned by iHeartMedia. 100.7 channel 264 is WHUD, Peekskill, New York. 100.7 WHUD, Westchester and the Hudson Valley's music station, and they also use another slogan, one great song after another. This is an adult contemporary station which is owned by Pamal Broadcasting. 101.1 channel 266, broadcasting in high definition, is WCBS FM New York. 101.1 CBS FM, New York's greatest hits. On FM and on HD1 is Classic Hits. HD2 is the all-news simulcast of News Radio 88 WCBS AM. And then on HD3 is the national feed of CBS Sports Radio. WCBS FM is owned by Entercom. 101.7 channel 269 is WBEA, Southold, New York. This station is known as 101.7 The Beach, today's hottest music. This is a mainstream top 40 CHR station from LRS Radio LLC. 101.9 channel 270, broadcasting in high definition, is Wfan FM New York. Now this is the FM simulcast of the Fan, Sports Radio 66 and 101.9 FM, your flagship station for New York sports. So like WFAN AM, this is also a CBS Sports Radio affiliate. They are the flagship station of New York Yankees baseball, New York Giants football, Brooklyn Nets basketball, and New Jersey Devils hockey. And they are also the New York affiliate of Westwood One Sports. That's national sports events only. Wfan FM is owned by Intercom Communications. And this, again, as I said, is the FM simulcast of Wfan AM 660 New York. And this station is also repeated in Washington, D.C. on WJFK FM 106.7 HD3 Manassas, Virginia. All right, we are down to our final 2 pages, so we are just about finished. Okay, 102.3 Channel 272 has a pair of stations. They have a pair of stations. The first broadcasts in high definition, and that's WBAB, Babylon, New York. 102.3 WBAB, Long Island's only classic rock. So FM and HD1 is classic rock with no additional subchannels. WBAB is owned by Cox Media Group and is simulcast on WHFM 95.3 FM, Southampton, New York, which also broadcasts in HD. The other station on 102.3 is in standard analog, and that's WSUS, Franklin, New Jersey. 102.3 WSUS, the 80s to now. This is an adult contemporary station owned by iHeartMedia. 102.5 Channel 273 is WBAZ, Bridgehampton, New York. 102.5 WBAZ. Really, the branding is 102.5 BAZ. Refreshing and relaxing. This is an adult contemporary station from LRS Radio Limited, or LRS Radio LLC. 102.7 Channel 274, broadcasting in high definition, is WNEW FM New York. New 102.7, upbeat variety for your workday. On FM and HD1 is Hot Adult Contemporary. HD2 is a smooth jazz station branded as Smooth Jazz 102.7. And then on HD3 is the all-new simulcast of 1010 Wins, which I forgot to write down when I took down the information for WINS. WNEW FM is owned by Intercom. 103.1 Channel 276 is WBZO Bayshore, New York. 103.1 Max FM, classic hits of the 70s, 80s, and more. This is a classic hits radio station owned by Connoisseur Media. 103.5 Channel 278, broadcasting in high definition, is WKTU, Lake Success, New York. 103.5 KTU, the beat of New York. On FM and HD1 is Rhythmic Adult Contemporary. HD2 is Pride Radio, which is dance and EDM. And then HD3 is The Breeze, which is soft AC. WKTU is owned by iHeartMedia. Short space next to them at 103.7 Channel 279 is WNNJ, Newton, New Jersey. 103.7 NNJ, the Tri-States Classic Rock. This is a classic rocker from iHeartMedia. 103.9 Channel 280 has a pair of stations. Of course, the most known of these two is WNBM Bronxville, New York. Radio 103.9, New York's best mix of R&B. This is an urban adult contemporary station owned by Cumulus Media. The other station on 103.9 is WRCN-FM Riverhead, LI News Radio, Long Island's 24-hour news and information station. This is a news talk station from JVC Media, LLC. 104.3 Channel 282 Broadcasting in high definition is WAXQ New York, Q1043, New York's classic rock. On FM and HD1 is classic rock, and then HD2 is the news talk simulcast of 710 WOR. WAXQ is owned by iHeartMedia. 104.7 Channel 284 is WELJ Montauk, New York. 104.7 WELJ, the East End's easy favorites. This is a soft AC and oldies hybrid from Bold Broadcasting, LLC. 105.1 Channel 286, broadcasting in high definition, is WWPR-FM New York. Power 105.1, New York's hip-hop and R&B. On FM and HD1 is Urban Contemporary. Then on HD2 is a Russian station known as The New Radio. And then HD3 is the all-new Black Information Network, which is the 24-hour all-news network aimed at African Americans. WWPR-FM is owned by iHeartMedia. 105.3 Channel 287, broadcasting in high definition, is WPTY, Calverton, Roanoke, New York. Party 105.3, party hits and throwbacks. On FM and HD1 is a mix of rhythmic and dance hits. HD2 is oldies, branded as Oldies 98, relayed on translator station W251BY 98.1 FM, Patchogue, New York. And then on HD3 is an alternative rock simulcast of WLIR, known as the world famous WLIR. WPTY Party 105.3 is owned by JVC Media. After all that, we finally made it to the last page. So the boss is nearly defeated. Okay. 105.5 Channel 288, broadcasting in high definition, is WDBY Patterson, New York. This station airs to the Danbury, Connecticut market. They're known as Kicks 105.5, number one for new country. So on FM and on HD1 is country music with no additional subchannels. They are owned by Town Square Media of Danbury Incorporated and operates booster station WDBY FM 1, Brookfield, Connecticut, which is mapped to 105.5 FM. 105.9 Channel 290, broadcasting in high definition, is WQXR FM, Newark, New Jersey. Classical, New York, 105.9 WQXR. On FM and HD1 is classical music, and then HD2 is contemporary classical music. Programming is repeated on WQXW 90.3 FM, Ossining, New York, and over translator station W279AJ 103.7 FM, Highland, New York. WQXR FM is owned by New York Public Radio. Programming is also repeated on WNYC 93.9 FM HD2 New York. Want to get that in before I forgot. 106.1 Channel 291. Broadcasting in high definition is WBLI Patchogue, New York. 106.1 BLI, Long Island's number one for all the hits. FM and HD1 is Top 40 CHR with no additional subchannels. This station is owned by Cox Media Group. All right. 106.3 Channel 292 has a pair of stations. The first is WFME FM, Mount Kisco, New York. Family Radio, the sound of the new life. This is a Christian/religious station from Family Stations Incorporated. Programming is rebroadcast on Wfmu 1560 AM New York and Wfrc 88.9 FM Smithtown, New York. The other station on 106.3 is WHCY Blairstown, New Jersey. Now this is Western Jersey, almost to the border with Pennsylvania. This station is known as Max 1063, All the Hits. This is a top 40 CHR station from iHeartMedia. 106.7, channel 294, broadcasting in high definition, is WLTW New York. 106.7 Light FM, New York's best variety. On FM and on HD1 as adult contemporary plus Christmas music during the holiday season. And then on HD2, since this is a New York radio station, is a 24/7 channel from the iHeartMedia app known as Broadway Show Tunes. So it's only fitting you have Broadway Show Tunes on a New York radio station, right? WLTW is owned by iHeartMedia. 107.1, channel 296 is WXPK, Briarcliff Manor, New York. 107.1, The Peak, world-class rock for New York's backyard. This is an adult album alternative station owned by Pamal Broadcasting. And our final station, I can't believe we made it to the end, but here we are. 107.5, channel 298, broadcasting in high definition, is of course the first radio station in the country to play rap music. Just want to throw that in. WBLS New York, 107.5 WBLS, number one for R&B. So on FM and on HD1 is Urban Adult Contemporary. And then on HD2 is the Urban Contemporary Gospel simulcast of sister station WLIB AM 1190. The world famous WBLS is owned by Media Co. Holding Incorporated and operated by MS Communications. So, of course, this would make it a sister station of Hot 97. And after all of that, there she blows. The New York City market. And still more markets to come, including Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Kansas City, Missouri. And in my next video, we'll be taking a look at the Austin, Texas radio market. So be on the lookout for all of those videos. Make sure you leave a comment in the Make sure you drop me a comment, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell to get notified next time I go live. Anyway, this is Big Al signing off. Thanks for coming with me on this journey through the Big Apple. And I will talk to you again deep in the heart of Texas. Peace out.